G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here on Rocky River watching Joan of Arc go up against the Juicy Legacy. A battle of civilizations at the top of the table, at least in my mind. Juicy Legacy, obviously a civilization that is very, very strong at the moment compared to Joan of Arc, which is, I mean, when they came out initially, I think we were all very much, in favor of them being the best civ, the hardest to deal with civ, but people have worked out recently how to deal with them. So, anyway, let's get to it, introduce our players, and begin to see what we've got developing for this game. Spawning in on the south side of the map in the color purple, playing as the Juicy Legacy, it's Divine DFP. And in the north of the map in the color red, playing as Joan of Arc, it's Baloo. Ladies and gentlemen, Rocky River is the name of the map today. Now, one of the things to note that is very, very good about this map for the Juicy Legacy is there are lots of berries. Now, you might be thinking, Drongo, why the hell are berries good for the Juicy Legacy? Well, that is because their landmark, the Meditation Gardens, is very, very strong if you can get lots of berries together. However, today it looks like, fortunately for our Joan of Arc player, the berries aren't particularly close. I actually played this map a little bit earlier in the week, and I had 3 berry spawns that were all here right next to each other with a beautiful little spot. So I just sent a single villager over to the other side of the map and put my meditation gardens down there and felt very good about myself. But I don't think Divine's going to be doing that much today. Realistically, not the best spawns for him, so we'll have to wait and see exactly how he looks to play. And now, there's a couple things that we know about these two players. So number one, these guys are both really good players. We're not just talking your standard Conqueror 3 guys. These guys are much better than the average bear. I think Baloo currently sits about rank 10, rank 15, and Divine slightly higher than that, about rank 20 to 25, somewhere in that region. So we are talking about the top echelon of players here. So I'm excited to see what we're going to have in store for us this game. Whether it's going to be aggression or whether it's going to be greed. But you can make the argument for both out of these civilizations. Definitely for Divine DFP, we know him as a greedy player, loves to play a 2-3 TC variant for most civilizations that he touches. We've seen him on the Rus, we've seen him on the English, we've seen him playing the Chinese, and of course now the Juicy Legacy, and it's always the same MO with this guy. It always is going to be some variance of fast second town center or third town center even. The same can't be said for Baloo. Baloo, also known by the name of Numudan, is quite an aggressive player, I would say. He's got actually a really nice little spot if you're playing the Juicy Legacy right here. Beautiful little spot for your meditation gardens. Yeah, I would say he's a bit more of an aggressive player. But by the same token, I feel like his civilization, Joan of Arc, lends itself to be a bit more of a defensive civilization. And hear me out. So basically the argument is this. Joan of Arc wants to play, or can play, very greedy, I should say, not aggressive, very greedy. And then you have to come to Joan of Arc and you have to fight her. You have to stop her from being that greedy civilization. So naturally, that's going to give experience to Joan of Arc when that happens. So the argument is essentially you can be greedy, and if your opponent tries to punish you, then they will just be rewarding you with experience for Joan of Arc, and that's something that they want to avoid. And of course, if she does die in the base, you can very easily just bring her back with the Return of the Saint ability. No cooldown on that bad boy after Joan dies immediately, but of course there is a cooldown if you do use it, then it'll be another, 90 seconds or something like that before you can use it again. So just keep that in mind. But we'll check in now with Divine and see how he's doing. Looks like he's managed to pick up the gold, a little bit of wood, berries, and a fair bit of wood over on this right side of the base. Overall, not going to be the strongest, 30, 48, and then, maybe he'll probably be cracking 120 if he's lucky. Oh, probably not, actually. Yeah. This is suboptimal, I'll say that much. And part of the reason why I've been playing this map recently is the Juicy Legacy, because you do often find those crazy openings where you get the meditation gardens just in a wild spot. So this is definitely subpar for the Juicy Legacy. But we're right on board now as Baloo has aged up to the feudal age, and the first knight is getting ready to come out onto the map. We can see the Joan of Arc about to hit that level 2. It's been a pretty quick age up here, so still going to have to build a couple of buildings before she'll be able to get to that level, that second level. Meanwhile, out on the map, we do see Baloo is preparing to spot out those Divine DFP villages. Where they at? Nice little sheep still at the front of the base here. But he wants to spot those villagers. Where are they? He wants to make sure he hits the stone. That's going to be a real key factor here, denying out stone. Now, he has scouted out on the bottom side of the map, knows about where these positions are, and does know that there is a stone outcropping to the south. But have a look at this. Before the Song Dynasty even comes through from the Juicy Legacy, Divine is looking to put down an outpost defensively. We see him put down the mining camp as well. You know, realistically, you probably could have just gone for a wall across here and then maybe some kind of weird wall along there, but then I guess you kind of leave yourself open to the back. It looks like we do have a villager moving into position. Is this going to be a wall that comes down? No, it's not. Imperial official has moved out, so it will definitely be a second town center. Song Dynasty about to come through, and not going to be opting for... You can see the nice little wall coming through. Not going to be opting for the standard, which is going to be a barracks. I would say the most common thing that you see in this matchup is definitely an early barracks from the Juicy Legacy. Not going to be the way today that it is played. Outpost now getting filled up with villagers, and look at this, the Royal Knight just running straight past, says, I don't care about your villagers. I don't care about your outpost, mate. I'm going straight for the guts. Now towards that backside of the base, the Royal Knight is somewhat stuck. Is there a second knight that's on the way? It doesn't look like it. Baloo going to be working towards his own second town center. And have a look at this. The upgrades on the way through. Double broadaxe, wheelbarrows through. Not to mention, specialized pick is now coming through. And once again, looks like the scout is doing a wonderful job just defending in this situation. Up against this knight, you can see he's trying to pick up or intercept any charges. Does a very good job of it. Looking to pick up hand cannon slits as well for this outpost. Definitely a big investment early on for the Juicy Legacy. Second town center not quite yet down, so still behind a little bit where you'd like to be. At least a minute he's been delayed so far with this outpost. And I think that's the big argument when it comes to going for the barracks is you definitely don't get delayed that much with the barracks, because the barracks, you'll get the free spearman from this Young Man Tower, and you'll also be able to just make a spear. You get a refund as well on the... You get a refund on the technology from the barracks as well. So there's a lot going for that early barracks. And of course, you can then use that barracks throughout the game. Whereas this outpost really doesn't have much use. The emplacements don't have much use outside the first, 6-7 minutes. And that's pretty much it. Now it's just kind of using up space in the base. And I don't really want that. But anyway, right on board with Baloo in the north and see how he's doing as that second TC is now coming down for him. He will be going into a third TC. So no real surprise here. We do see... almost a synergistic, I don't even know what the word is, but we see the two styles of the players, not two styles, but the style of Divine DFP as a player, synergizing well here with Baloo and his civilization, that Baloo wants to go for that big eco because he can get away with it, because he's playing with the woman at arms, and then over on the other side, Divine knows that he can get away with going for a big economy because, well, he's playing the Juicy Legacy, and of course he can get away with it. Now, he's got a lot of villagers here that are on this mill, and he's not supervising it, and that is very painful for me to see. We do start to see more Imperial officials coming out. He's up to 3 now, but I tell you what, whenever you have a concentrated amount of villagers like that working, you really want to try and supervise that bad boy up. But now the barracks has indeed come out. Outpost on the front line as well. Wants to keep this gold safe. He knows that if he loses this gold, he's going to have a really tough time playing this game out. Now, another thing to think about from this perspective of Divine is what kind of composition is he going to look to play into in the mid-game? Because naturally from here, his main goal is going to be getting to Castle Age. He wants to boom up, he wants to get some farms down in the back of the base, wants to secure things up, and you can see he's done a great job already with these palisade walls on the edge. But the big thing is, where does that unit composition go? For me, naturally, I think of Spearman Crossbow. That always feels really, really strong. The problem is, up against Joan of Arc, she does particularly well against that combo, just simply because, well, she's got the ability to deal quite effective damage against those spears, even if she does get caught. But I guess realistically, if you've got a big enough mass of crossbows, you should be able to take her out before too much damage gets dealt. Third TC now going to be going down in the north of the map here for Baloo. He has pulled those villagers off stone, so not going to be opting for a fourth one. And straight away, it looks like we are going to have the archery range coming down here. So looking to get up a little bit of defensive units, perhaps. Scout just out here with a couple of units, just a handful of units at this stage of the game. And economy is going to continue to boom here. 3 town centers worth of booming technology. Tell you what, absolutely fine by me. Keep in mind that one of the differences between Joan of Arc and the French is that the French have those faster training villagers, whereas Joan of Arc does not. She's got to wait those full 20 seconds for each one of her villagers, compared to the French, which, you know, depends on which age you're in, but it can be 18 seconds, 17 seconds. I think it goes all the way down to 15 seconds in Imperial Age, which is kind of ludicrous when you think about it. But we're right on board with Divine. One of the things I find very interesting is that Divine knows nothing about his opponent. At this stage, this is what is so scary for me, because when I'm thinking about it from the perspective of Divine, I really don't know what is happening on the other side of the map. It could be a fast castle that's coming up. It could be 3 TCs. It could be a whole bunch of units that are back here. All I know is that there's probably been a second TC. I don't know exactly how much Divine has scouted out from this side. We do see the scout is in his base, but we can assume there's a second TC, but what's the follow-up to that? That's the big question. Naturally, Divine is going to be looking to get units out. He just wants to make sure he doesn't die to any early aggression. Have a look at this. He's making a run towards Castle Age. Only a handful of spears out on the front line, a couple of Zhukanu in the rear as well. Blacksmith will be going down, and the walls are starting to come up in what we have begun to recognize as a very common base defense strategy for Divine. He is looking to just enshroud his base with these palisade walls, and now we start to see it. Interesting position on this granary as well. He's gone for not enough space on the backside to actually get those farms down. So quite a curious thing, because you've basically got half of the granary that is just not being used, these buffs on the back, but hopefully he heads back to the drawing board with granary number 2 and 3. All right, we'll check in with Baloo. Baloo has overtaken Divine when it comes to that villager count. Expect to see the age up coming through from his opponent shortly. Realistically for Baloo, he's got plenty of villagers on gold, so as soon as he wants to take his foot off the pedal with regard to that military number, he will be able to do it. One thing to note is with these walls coming up, it will be difficult for him to poke and prod around the base of Divine without really having to... Well, he's going to have to deal with these walls. That's the big issue. And so once these Zhuganu numbers start to boost up quite high, or crossbows come in behind it, you're just not going to be able to deal with it effectively. I'm curious from Divine's perspective whether he goes into the Montlu Academy first. I've actually seen that quite a fair bit recently, where players are going into Montlu Academy, and I think it makes a lot of sense, right? It just, the Shaolin Monastery, it's just, sure, it's cool to get relics out immediately, but I can just put down a very affordable monastery and just get those in anyway, without having to do the whole Shaolin monk thing. So I think that's definitely something to consider. But have a look at this. While Divine was very close to going towards Castle Age, looks like the foot has come off the pedal just for a little bit. Recognizing that, hey, hold on a minute, this is a fair bit of units that are coming out right now. Meanwhile, Baloo has stopped making units, and you can see just how carefully these players have to balance each other's, or, you know, they have to balance the information that they've got. How many units are coming out? Can I put on pressure? Those sorts of questions. But it looks like both of them will be cleared for takeoff towards that Castle Age very, very shortly. Baloo looking to pick up more upgrades. He's already picked up 3 of those base blacksmith upgrades, all of the base eco upgrades, compared to his opponent, who's also got all the base eco upgrades, but only the 2 primary upgrades for the blacksmith. Those are, of course, the ranged upgrades. But now we do indeed start to see that landmark for Age 3 being placed down by Baloo. Manages to get up a little bit earlier than his opponent. It's going to be the Guild Hall. Definitely trending towards a more common opening is the Guild Hall. We are seeing this a fair bit. I know I've been playing plenty of games up against the Joan of Arc, and the Guild Hall is definitely... Oh my god, he actually did it. Why though? Why, man? It boggles my mind. Like, you're getting really good value on all of these farms right here, because these farms can be handed in directly to the town center and directly into the granary, so you're getting wonderful value on them. Like, this guy in particular, he's just getting maximum bonuses, but it's just so painful because the reality is Divine's sitting on 24 farms, which is okay, but it's not, that's not where you want to be as the Juicy Legacy. I mean, your goal is probably closer to 60, 70 farms, and you just can't build anything in the back of this base, and that hurts. That really hurts. Looks like more and more farms will continue to come down. He's working away these existing things, and it is going to be the Montlu Academy that will actually come up for him. So to me, that's not really surprising. I think the Montlu Academy is quickly becoming a favorite of all Juicy Legacy players. Just really opens up a lot of flexibility with your upgrades, with your Imperial Officials, of course. One of the key upgrades I like to look for is that regional inspection, which increases your supervision ability. So you can look to throw down a siege workshop and then get an Imperial Official on that, and that's going to pump out your siege very, very quickly. It means that you don't have to go into a second siege workshop, and you're always going to be able to outproduce your opponent. On the other side of the map, though, looks like upgrades are starting to come through. Veterancy has already come through for the Royal Knight. Veterancy on the Archers on the way in as well. And Men-at-Arms going to be the switch for Baloo. We'll check in with Divine and see what his composition looks to evolve into, whether he sticks with the Zhukunu, whether he is going to add in any crossbows or not. And it looks like for the moment he's just picking up the Veterancy. Is he doing what I'm thinking he's doing? Is this just the standard Divine play? You guys know what it is. Is it just straight to Imperial Age? He's picking up his tier 2 upgrades. So have a look at this. We've got lumber preservation coming in, veterancy on the Zhukunu and the spears, +2 ranged attack as well. So wants to get those balanced projectiles coming in for that extra little bit of damage. So definitely the right call at this stage. But it looks like a villager will go down. The first of the game. Is that the first kill of the game? I think it's pretty damn close to the first kill of the game. Is working towards this front position, trying to take it out. The spearmen will make their way forward. He's got to be careful to avoid a loop around here. If these knights do manage to get past, Divine could be in a little bit of trouble, but Baloo isn't going to push the issue just yet. Not 100% confident about moving into the base. Well, right on board with Baloo, and you can see that that scout was the one that was focused down by the outpost and the springald emplacement. So now he's really got no vision about what is behind there. And this is where you've got to be extra careful, because there could be nest of bees behind there. If you're dealing with 2-3 nest of bees and they come in off the top rope from on the outside of a forest like this, you've just lost 20 military units in the blink of an eye. And it was very easily avoidable if you had just backed up and gotten a scout. But we don't yet see a scout in queue. He's playing very dangerously on the other side of this stealth forest. Check in with Divine. Divine unaware of where his opponent is. But I tell you what, got to be really careful about that. Looks like he will begin to push forward. More walls coming up. And now those crossbow numbers are starting to build. The nest of bees also on the way out as well. Have a look at that. We've got the Imperial official supervising, and you can see he has indeed gone for regional inspection. So you're talking about a nest of bees every 10 seconds. These guys are being produced faster than a Zhukunu, which takes 15 seconds. A crossbow, which takes 23 seconds. These guys are coming out every 10 seconds. That is ludicrous how damn quick they come out. He's already up to 3 nest of bees. And that doesn't leave much of a response for Baloo. Baloo, basically at this stage of the game, just has to hope that he sees the nest of bees before he loses his army. That's pretty much it. So that's going to be really important for him. One thing to note is you can go for a preemptive siege workshop, but it does... If you go for a preemptive siege workshop and look to get springalds out, then it does put you in a bit of an awkward position if your opponent doesn't go into siege. But it does also give you the upper hand in that you've got flexibility in moving into mangonels, which can be very effective against the most common combos that we see, which of course are the Archer Knight, which is coming out from Baloo at the moment, together with the crossbow spear coming out from Divine, as he does well and truly move into this combo. Royal Knight moving forward, looking to try and spot out anything he can, only sees the walls coming up. And are we moving towards that Imperial Age? It looks like we might be. Not a whole lot of gold coming through at the moment for Divine. We'll check in on the Guild Hall. Up to 600 food at the moment for Baloo. Looking to pick up Gambesons as well. A little bit of extra melee armor for the Arbalatrier. Definitely going to help. He's got 2 relics in the bag at the moment, Baloo does. 3rd one coming in now as well. Also got the 4th one safe at the back of the base. Where's the 5th relic? I don't even see the 5th relic at this stage. Wait. That's all 5 relics. He's managed to snag away his opponent's relics as well. That's going to be very, very strong. And by the way, can we just take a look at the economic population at the moment? 112 versus 87, not to mention 5 relic advantage. This is starting to look really good for Baloo in this late game. He's already got everything he needs out of this 3rd TC, so he's not going to be too fussed about losing it. Definitely won't overcommit to it. 3 of the nest of bees now going to be spotted. The immediate response to this should be Siege Workshop, if not double Siege Workshop. There's the 2nd Workshop coming down now. Does move into Springles and had gone for that Mangonel already a little bit preemptively. So definitely the right call to move into that 2nd Siege Workshop. You need to get that response out immediately. You can see he's got plenty of resources in the bank to go for that as well. Divine now going to be pushing up close to 200 population. Both of these players, 181 for Divine, 189 for Baloo. Begins to work on the production. Well, right on board with Divine as this push starts to come to shove. Mango shot hits. It's only going to be on the spears, so not a whole lot of damage. Springald is out. May need to fall back from that. Mangonel shot comes a little bit short there. But the nest of bees is going to be the main focus here. We really want to see how much terror can be rained by these nest of bees. Of course, for anybody who doesn't know, we are now part of the beehive. We must protect it. What I'm trying to remember what the quote was from that Jason Statham movie about the beehive. I am the bee. I'm the queen bee, bitch. Imagine Jason Statham coming in. He's like, I'm the queen. Like, look at me. I'm the queen now. And now we got ourselves some trouble. The Royal Knights coming out in force here. Crossbows teeing off towards them. A huge amount of men-at-arms also getting involved in the action. Nest of Bees falling back. He's looking to pull them here out. You can see the crossbows dishing out the damage. Nest of Bees getting big shots in. Joan of Arc already, not already, but she's level 3, but already look at her health. It's fallen down quite far. Not enough Springalds here, and you can see the distinct distinct lack of siege coming out for Baloo could harm him in this situation. Springles, no, now starting to come in as well for our Juicy Legacy player. Is pushing around this forest. Plenty of experience coming through. Joan of Arc might go down. The Nest of Bees. The Nest of Bees! Massive damage into that huge clump of ranged units on the back line. Mangonel comes off. Looks to try and get a little bit more off the top rope. 3 Nest of Bees. 3 Nest of Bees. 2 Nest of Bees. Big shots coming in. And look at the damage coming out from those Nest of Bees. The reign of terror is well and truly upon the French player right now. Or the French variant player right now. Look at the number of units here. Just a distinct lack of mangonel shots into this ranged infantry mass is going to leave him puzzled as to how he can possibly deal with this. Outposts now starting to come forward as well for him. No real prospect of Imperial Age when you're under this much pressure. Joan of Arc number 2 is out. You've got to be careful with her, though. Let's check in with these unit numbers and see how many we've actually got on the field at the moment. Look at the difference between Divine and Baloo. Baloo really fighting to keep it alive. Probably could be looking to get in on top of it. Will indeed do that. But unfortunately going to get focused down. And look at the Nest of Bees once again just raining terror from the skies as Joan of Arc once again goes down. Terrible situation for her. 25 crossbows out. His 17 Jukunu. Incredibly strong ranged army. How do you even deal with this from the perspective of Baloo? I think Mangonel is the right call, but you want more mangoes. I'm talking like you want to be you know, supermarket shopping. Probably even more than supermarket. You probably want to do warehouse trades with mangoes right now. That's where you want to be at. 3 Springles. He's got to be careful not to lose them. Indeed, he takes out, does a nice little trade. 1 for 1 there. And will manage to do another 1 for 1 there. We hear the Red Palace is coming down over towards that west side, and the Nest of Bees getting another massive shot. I tell you what, the MVP for this game is the Nest of Bees. Oh my god, how good are these units? These are absolutely ridiculous how much effectiveness he has gotten out of this, or just how much damage he's been able to get across the board, no matter what the unit type. And look at this, the Red Palace is coming up. It could be doubtful. I think it will be doubtful that he gets it up. Villager count starting to get a little bit closer. Baloo 106, 105. It continues to fall. 104 up against 102 from Divine DFP. Of course, he's got the relics on his side that'll give him an advantage, but have a look at that military difference. Divine DFP now inside the base. Baloo going to be trying to pull off a strong defense here. He's got siege on his side. Mangonel shot comes through. The first one manages to get a nice little strike. No more mangoes in queue, and this is going to hurt Baloo. He's got the resources for it. Needs to queue up 2 more. So much gold in the bank. Nothing worse than losing a game with gold in the bank. Baloo, you got to get things on the board, and now he's getting chased around. Villagers going down absolutely everywhere. There's the Red Palace. It's really suboptimal on the positioning here, but it looks like he will be evacuating the dance floor and will be heading to the next door nightclub. I guess that's probably it. You know, for us, I'm from Canberra, so there's a bit of a meme in Canberra for anybody who knows Canberra, Australia. It's Mooseheads. It's like, you know, I remember when I was young. I can say I never went to Moose. No, I went to Mooseheads. You do this little thing where you put your fingers on your head and you go Moose. For anybody who doesn't know or who's not from Canberra in Australia, Mooseheads is considered like a bar, which is it's yeah. Words cannot describe how disgusting it is. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Anyway, that's why are we even talking about that? Oh, right, because he's evacuating the dance floor. There you go. So he was evacuating the dance floor. Someone had evidently been infected by the sound. But now, speaking of infections, it looks like, you know, interestingly, we speak about infections and Mooseheads in similar sentences. So there you go. All my Canberra boys are going to be enjoying that one. We've got a problem right now. Baloo is really struggling to get back here on the board. All of his production is camped. He's got plenty of resources in the bank. He has reached Imperial Age, but how does he possibly pull this one out? I think that's the big question for me. He's got no relics, which mean that realistically that gold is no longer trickling in. Even though you got lots of gold, that only lasts for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then it's gone. That was 400 gold a minute that we're now missing out on. So where do we go from here? Roller shutter triggers is going to be the call for him, and he will look to defend underneath the Red Palace. I think this is actually a pretty smart move, and he can look to stay in this game a little bit longer. The problem is he's going to start losing landmarks. And realistically, the Red Palace is only a trebuchet or 2 away from death, so keep that in mind. We'll check in on the other side of the map as Divine DFP now reaches Imperial Age. Going up with the Juicy Library, I'm suspecting? No, it's the Temple of the Sun he's gone with. The Temple of the Sun going to be the infantry speed booster. Second landmark about to go down for Baloo. Does he hold on? It's been a tough game for him so far. Really quite an explosive one, realistic. Oh, he's done the men-at-arms over the wall trick. Look at this. He's run up to the wall and put the men-at-arms over. Oh, you cheeky, sneaky little Baloo. And now attempting to idle out the enemy's economy. A couple of the men-at-arms will manage to find a single villager at the back. And yep, that was definitely worth it. If there is one... Hey, have a look at this. Have a look at this. We got proxy bases. 2 landmarks down so far. 3rd landmark. Well, good luck to him. Probably needs to put a few more villagers close by to this. You want this bad boy pumping out. Yeah, there they go. You want this bad boy pumping out as many shots as you can possibly get. This thing absolutely fucks when it comes to dealing damage. It is ludicrous how this thing goes. But there they are. Look at the siege now. You know what Baloo needs? He just needs a whole bunch of horsemen or knights or just, you know what, there's spears here. How many spears are we talking? Only 11 spears. But, imagine if these were all stables and he was just making horsemen. And he got the elite upgrade and he just came in. Like, there is 36 population of siege right here. And now, Baloo on the defensive has only got 200 wood. Springwoods move up. They've got their roller shutter triggers. Keep that in mind. And now that infantry will look to try and push up and demolish the Springwoods. Nice little defense coming through. They do a wonderful job. He's got the 3rd Springwood out now, which will give him the ability to one-shot these trebuchets and force them back. Outpost is providing really good line of sight coverage here as well, so we can see all those movements coming in. Keep in mind the Red Palace is repaired with wood. It's not repaired with stone. If it were the case, he'd have 2,400 stone to play with. But now those Springwoods move forward. Will they find the shot? They will. The first of the Trebs goes down. He realizes he's got to back on out of there. Divine, is he yet to pick up roller shutter triggers? He does have it. And now have a look at this. The Red Palace is looking to obliterate that enemy siege position. There we go. The Red Palace is defining this battle here. Big shot onto the front, able to take out all of the siege. Only the trebuchets remain. 3 Springwoods also for Baloo now on the defensive. We are starting to witness a defensive masterpiece coming online. Will it maintain? That is going to be the question. A 4th Springwood now coming out. The Red Palace has obliterated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 siege engines in the space of seconds. I didn't even see them go down. I just see the little carcasses on the ground. What do you even call them? They're not even carcasses. They're I guess you could call them siege engine carcasses, couldn't you? The remnants of it. All right, let's check in and see how Divine's doing on the south side. He's under pressure. Look at this. Baloo also has Joan of Arc down here. Yet to reach level 4. He's got to be careful not to lose her. If she goes down, she's only on 20 health. There she goes. An expensive loss. Keep in mind. Wait, can the town center not get her back? Is it only the main town center that can get her back? Oh, I did not know that. Oh, I did not know that. How did... You can't get her back on secondary town centers? Oh, yikes. There's outposts in this base as well. Like, you're not getting this TC up unless you sneak these vills in, which I think you probably could. All right, Grenadiers coming out. Grenadiers online. Ladies and gentlemen, 7 Grenadiers out for Divine. He's at 196 population. They're starting to make their way through here as well. Always got to be careful when there's Grenadiers on the field. And now, more and more units for Divine. Looking to wrap around. Baloo struggling to keep that head above water, but he's still got a very decent economic unit count. Only issue is half of his economy is idle. The other half is long distance chopping. This stealth forest, definitely not where you want to be. Red, he's just tapped out. He's just said, I can't do it, mum. I can't go any longer. Unfortunately, wait. Did he tap out or did he DC? Look at this. I feel like this is an absolutely fine defense. I feel like this was a DC. Or did he just know? I think he just knew. I think he just knew it was over. Ladies and gentlemen, go check him out. I'll leave links in the description and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.